So I guess I'm audible now, clear? Just please message. I'm audible now? Yes, fine. Sure. Thank you. Thank you guys. So we'll start with the syllabus. So we'll start with the decoding of the syllabus. So what we need to exactly study, what we need to skip for this exam, because see, the syllabus is vast when we compare the entire syllabus for the NABARD. We are not just talking with respect to the ARD, but we are also discussing, we are also talking with respect to the other subjects. When you see the other subjects as well, there is a problem. What is the problem? Because the syllabus is vast, and that's why we need to understand what exactly is the syllabus and where we have to put more emphasis, which topics are to be covered importantly. So we'll go one by one. Now yesterday I have discussed, in yesterday's lecture I have discussed everything. So what are the components of the ARD, or basically where this components with respect to the phase 1 and phase 2, where the ARD stands, what are the marking system. Yesterday everything we have discussed. But today we will discuss each and every point of the syllabus. So if you have any doubts guys, please you can message me. Just I will give the answers for them. So see, so the first topic what it says the agronomy. So actually it is mentioned as the agriculture, but it is actually the agronomy. So we can say agronomy is nothing but it is a foundation for this complete syllabus. So unless and until you don't know anything about the agronomy, there is we can say it is useless to go for the other topic, just like the water management, soil management, or soil chemistry. It may be your again agriculture economics or the extension or any other topics. So basically you need to first understand what is economics, because we can say it is a foundation for this agriculture syllabus. Getting? So what are the topics which we need to see in this syllabus we can see? So the first we can say it is the factors affecting crop production. It is very important. So when we say the agronomy, so first they can ask you the definition. So what they can ask you, it is a definition of agronomy. So yes, of course, NABARD has already asked this question. So they give simply the definition. They ask this definition is related to what? They ask you to identify the term. So after that it is the factors affecting economy, which is very, very important, remember. But when we say the factors, so we can divide these factors into different types. So first we can see it is nothing but, see, it is a physical factor. But when we say the physical factor, don't only look at the physical factor. We need to again understand what exactly comes under the physical factor. So we can say here you can find the climatic factors, then it will include the soil factors, then it can include the altitude as well. Altitude. Getting? So in the climatic factors, the temperature is important, the light is important, or the solar radiations are important. The wind velocity is important, then your humidity is important, and according to this all the factors your cropping system will change. The types of crops which are been taken according to the temperature will change, according to the humidity the crops will change, according to the basically we can say solar radiations the crop will be changing. So you need to first understand what are the climatic factors. Now say for example the NABARD has asked the question, which of the following is a short day plant? Which of the following is an example of the long day plant? Which of the following is an example of day neutral plant? So basically why it is important? Because it depends on the solar radiations, or we can say the duration of the light, which is called as a photoperiodism. So basically NABARD will be focusing basically on this objective things which comes under the topic called as the climatic conditions. So again the soil type, because again see the example, the soil is important factor. Why? Basically because depending on the soil type, your crops will start to change. We'll take an example again. Say for example, if it is a black soil, isn't it? For the black soil, what we say, it is a regur soil, or basically we can say it is a black cotton soil. So in the name itself, it is mentioned it is a cotton. So basically when we say the black soil, the cotton crop is very, very important, isn't it? Or when we say it is a lateritic soil, if you go in the western part or the western coastal plains of India, you can find the lateritic soil. But this lateritic soil is important for what type of crops? Mostly it is the plantation crops. Plantation crops. And what are the plantation crops you can say? You can say cashew, or it may be the coconut, isn't it? So basically, NABARD can focus here the types of soil, the climatic conditions, or the altitude as well. So they can ask you in which of the following things or which of the following regions the types of crops are being grown. And preparing this, you need to again focus on here the agroclimatic zones, because see, you can relate this physical factors or the soil factors, socio-economic factors again with respect to the agroclimatic zones, because India has been divided into 15 different agroclimatic zones. And again NABARD can ask you the question, in which of the following climatic zone this particular crop has been generally grown. Say for example, if the question is with respect to the rice crop. The rice crop has been generally grown under which of the following climatic conditions, which agroclimatic zones of India. Then you should know that this agroclimatic zone is very important for the cultivation of the rice. It may be the wheat, it may be basically millets, or it may be the any other vegetables or the oil seeds. Getting? So you have to relate, we can say the factors of crop production to the agroclimatic zones of India. First thing, because seeing this factors of production is also important for the descriptive. We can say descriptive. Getting? After that, it is the cropping system. Again, cropping system is important, because when we say the cropping system, there are different types of cropping systems. So say for example, you have the relay cropping, you have the sequential cropping, isn't it? And these definitions are very much important, because again here the NABARD can focus on the definitions, remember. So when we say the intercropping, and the different types of intercroppings are very much important. The companion crop, what do you understand by that? What do we mean by relay cropping? What do you understand by multi-storage cropping? So see, focusing on the definition is important here, but again, what is the difference between cropping system and the cropping pattern? You need to understand the difference, because again, the NABARD can focus on this, write a short note on the cropping pattern and write a short note on the cropping system. Getting the point? So this is again important for the objective as well as for the descriptive pattern. Then it is a classification of field crops. So you can mark it, the most important topic from this agronomy is classification of field crops. It is a classification of field crops. Now why the classification of field crops is important? Now see, when we say the field crops, we need to discuss about the cereals, we need to work on millets, then we need to work on oilseeds, we need to work on cash crops. Yes, these are all the crops which we need to discuss in detail. Why? Because a small point can be asked for the exam. Now say for example, they can ask you what is the water requirement for the rice, or they can ask you the question, what is the, say for example, critical growth stages of the crop, or they can ask you the scientific name of that particularly crop. Getting? So in detail we have to see which is the climatic, what is the climatic conditions required for a particular crop, what are the basic, we can see the spatial package of practices which are been involved in these particular crops, or we can say what is the fertilizer requirement, what is the water requirement for it, what is the critical growth stages, we can say irrigation requirement, what is the fertilizer rate, or we can see the pest and disease which are important to this particularly crops, and what is the harvesting and the yield for that particular crop. Or they can ask you the post harvesting processing techniques with respect to the crop. Getting? So focusing on this topic is very important, very important. You can skip this agroclimatic zones, but you cannot skip the classification of field crops, because each and every crop we have to discuss in detail. Getting? After that, the topic is about the meteorology. Now see, meteorology, we know weather parameters. So here the topics will be more focused on the objective basis. Objective type of questions we will be expecting from this. Because type of precipitation, types of precipitation or the forms of precipitation we can say, types of rainfall, or basically we can say the humidity, or basically we can say the weather station, and which are the different we can say components which are being used in this weather stations. It may be the wind vane, yes, or it may be the dry bulb, wet bulb. What are the uses of it? Or they can ask you the terminologies with respect to the humidity. What is the specific humidity? What is the relative humidity? Or we can say what is the again absolute humidity. What is the difference between this? So the questions can be framed on that. So meteorology topic is more important for the objective pattern, not for the descriptive pattern. Getting? Then it is the problems of dryland agriculture. Now see, yesterday I told you, yesterday's lecture we were discussing that why dryland agriculture is important, because 2/3 of India's area comes under the dryland agriculture. So you need to understand not only the dryland agriculture, but you need to understand the classification of it. What is a dry farming? So we can write here, it is a dry farming, then dryland farming, and what is a rain-fed farming. And when you are discussing this, when you are reading this, you need to understand the small data, or basically we can say statistical data is important. That is, the facts are important. So we can say facts are important. See, example of the fact, dryland farming is what? Dryland farming is practiced where the rainfall is less than 250 centimeter, or sorry, 250 mm. What is a dryland farming? The rainfall varies from 750 to 100 and 1150 mm, and more than 1150 mm is the rain-fed farming. So we can say less than 750 mm, 750 to 1150 mm, and more than 1150 mm. So those are the definitions with respect to the dryland farming and the rain-fed farming. So these are the subtopics what you need to understand. But when it comes with respect to the descriptive pattern, you can get the questions specifically dryland farming. So what are the problems? Already the NABARD has asked the question on the problems related to dryland. But it is not only the problems what we need to understand. We need to understand what are the measures we can say that are necessary to be taken with respect to the dryland farming, or basically we can say what are the government measures, the government steps, programs or policies or the schemes related to the dryland farming. Yes, of course, the government of India is focusing on the dryland farming since independence. Why? Most of the area was under the dryland agriculture, remember. So because of that, we can say you need to focus on the dryland farming. Then it is a soil erosion, remember. It is a soil erosion. Now again, what are the different types of soil erosion? It is an objective type of question, but again, when we say the soil erosion, you need to understand what are the problems associated with the soil erosion, what are the reasons for the soil erosion, and what are the measures to overcome the soil erosion. So it is a descriptive type of answer again here. Then if you go here again, what is the seed production and seed processing and the seed village? But here, NABARD will be more focusing on the types of seed. That will be in the descriptive. So you need to remember what are the different types of seeds. Say for example, nucleus seed, breeder seed, foundation seed or the certified seed. But it is not only that you need to understand these seeds, but what are the tags associated with it? What is the germination percentage, or we can say the physical purity of it, These two things are very, very important when it comes with this different types of seeds. So this will be asked majorly in the, we can say, phase 1 objective and the phase 2 objective exams. And I'm not expecting any other question on this seed technology. So in the seed production, only these things we need to more focus on. Yes, of course, the seed village concept. The seed village concept, they can ask you the definition, or they can ask you to write one of the short note on this seed village. But the probability is very, very less with respect to the seed village. So this is actually the point where we need to focus on when it comes with respect to the seed. Then it is an intensified growth patterns and the organic farming, very important topic. So when we see, okay, now see, this actually is the syllabus what we are discussing right now. Why? Basically because see, we need to understand what exactly will be present in this topic, each and every topic. So don't worry that this is technical. But the thing is, you need to understand how much deep we have to go. Unless and until the classes will start, you won't be able to understand what exactly we need to do. But we are taking this session to make you understand on which topics we need to do. Because see, there are subtopics related to each and every point that we need to understand. Getting the point? So where the questions will be asked, if you go through the PYQ, so if you have done the yesterday session, I told you to go through the PYQs. If you have gone through the PYQs, you will be able to understand what exactly I am talking right now. Getting? So organic farming is very important. Yes. The definition has been asked again by the NABARD. So what is organic farming? Or basically the descriptive exams, it will be asking the questions in the descriptive exams. Getting? Then it is the precision farming. So what exactly is the precision farming? And the system of crop intensification. That is important. Again, the precision farming is very important, remember. So here they can ask you what are the different components of the precision farming. Say for example, it may be the GIS, it may be the GPS, or it may be your remote sensing, it may be the variable rate technology, or it may be your yield monitoring system. That is very important. So they can ask you what are the different government programs which are going with respect to the precision farming, where the different precision farming experiments are been going on. That can be asked when you link this topic with the current affairs. Getting? So that is with respect to the agronomy. So this topic, again, it is very easy topic when it comes with respect to the soil and water conservation. So see, whatever the topic we have discussed right now, this topic is little bit vast. Agronomy is little bit vast, where you need to understand the concepts, where you need to mug up the facts, data, all these things we need to do. But when it comes with respect to this topic, that is the soil and water conservation, this is little bit easy topic, we can say. Easy topic, but it is very important topic on which we need to put more emphasis. Now see, the questions are being asked with respect to the soil erosion. So what are the different types of soil erosion? The question is being asked in the prelims. Or say for example, what are the different types of fertilizers? The soil fertility. So you need to understand what is soil fertility. Then it is the major types of soil. So on the major types of soil, you will be getting the question. It may be for the objective or it may be for descriptive. So in the objective, they can ask you the characteristics of the soil. So say for example, when we go for the alluvial soil, or it may be the black soil, it may be the lateritic soil, they can ask you the characteristics of this. Then they can ask you, say for example, to write the modern classification of soil, or the orders of soil, They can ask you the features, remember. So this topic is very, very important when it comes for the phase 1 and phase 2. So you can mark it the most important topic. You can say very, very important topic. You can mark it very important topic. Okay. And then comes the soil conservation. Now soil conservation is again an important topic. Why? Basically because if see, the problem is in India, the soil erosion is taking place on a large area. And if the soil is not been conserved, your food production will be affected. Production of food will be affected, remember. So what are the different methods which are being used for the conservation of soil? We need to look at that. So it may be basically the different types of terracing or the contour farming, contour bunding, all these things when we are discussing. You need to understand what do you understand by bench terracing, what do you understand by contour farmings. So that has to be understood. So it is important. Again, the next topic, if you see, it is the water resources. So see, when it comes with respect to the water resources, I won't say it is much important topic. So you can keep this topic little bit aside and focus on the other topics which we are discussed right now, the agronomy and the soil conservation, because this topic is of less weightage, because you cannot see more of the questions for the objective as well as descriptive in the NABARD exam in the phase 1 and the phase 2. Now see the crop water requirement. So this crop water requirement we will do itself in the agronomy, when we will be discussing about the different field crops. So when we are discussing about the different field crops, we have to see what is the water requirement for each crop. So we will be discussing this topic in the agronomy. See, command area development, again it is not important, only here the government steps or the government measures or the government different programs are there, command area development programs and all these things. You need to only remember the schemes and the year in this. Then water conservation techniques. Yes, of course, this water conservation techniques, I will say it is important topic. It is important topic. But when it comes again with respect to the major irrigation, medium irrigation, minor irrigation and the macro irrigation, you need to understand what exactly is the definition of this irrigation types. Then it is the irrigation management, not important. Types of irrigation, little bit important. Sources of irrigation, again not that much of the important, not that too difficult. And irrigation pumps, not at all important, because NABARD won't be asking you such a difficult or basically we can say technical questions based on the irrigation pumps, the types of different pumps which are being used for the irrigation purpose. They won't ask you, but sources of irrigation, they can ask you. Basically, it may be the tank, it may be the bore well, or it may be the wells, or it may be the canal irrigation, they can ask you, but not again important. But how the questions will be framed, it will be current affairs based question. So see for example, how the question can be asked, which of the following state has largest area covered under the micro irrigation system? So such type of questions you will be getting it. So I'll say you can keep this topic a little bit aside and you can focus on the other topics. Now farm and agriculture engineering. Now see, out of this we need to focus on few topics, not the entire topic is important, few topics. Now see the farm power and machinery, the sources of farm power, sources of the power on the farm, not important at all. So it will be human, animal, mechanical, electrical, wind, solar, biomass and the biofuels, not that much important topic. But here infrastructure and watershed mechanics, infrastructure and watershed. So watershed is an important topic for the means. So watershed management is very important for the means descriptive pattern, descriptive. So they can ask you what is watershed management, what are the different we can say activities carried out under the watershed management, what are its advantages, that type of questions you will be getting it in the watershed management. But water harvesting structures, so the traditional water harvesting structures, we can include this under the rainwater harvesting also, rainwater harvesting structures, they can ask you this also. And the farm ponds, it is a little bit technical on which generally NABARD doesn't focus. But when we say agro processing is important, but it is important for the descriptive. It is important for the descriptive. So what the questions can be asked? Why agro processing is important? Why it is very much needed? What are the challenges associated with the agro processing industry in India? What are the government schemes related to the agro processing sector in India? So that type of questions you can expect in this. Then it is the plantation and horticulture. This again is a topic which is very, very important. Why? Basically because in this topic you will be getting most of the questions on the horticulture crops. Horticulture crops. And mostly you will be getting the questions on flowers. It may be the plantation crops, just like fruits. You will be getting the questions on the fruits or the tea, coffee, rubber. NABARD focuses on these topics, remember. NABARD doesn't focus mostly on the medicinal crops, aromatic crops. The NABARD doesn't focus on this. But you will be getting this questions from the objective point of view. So say for example, what is the scientific name of the rose? Yes, of course, NABARD has already asked this question. What is the scientific name of the apple? What is the scientific name of banana? What is the scientific name of sapota? Or what is the different package of practices? So we can say spatial package of practices. That is important. So each and every fruit crop, it has its own spatial package of practices, and again that we need to understand, remember. So here it is all about mugging up. It's all about mugging up the things. Getting? So here this important topic we will say, it is the plantation crops and the horticulture crops. Then post-harvest management, of course, in the agro-processing industry, the question can be asked with respect to the post-harvest management. Yesterday we have seen the question, how the questions are being asked with respect to the post-harvest management. Then it is the value and supply chain management of plantation and horticulture crops. So again, you will be getting the questions from here and here, especially in the descriptive pattern. Not for the objective, not mostly from the objective point of view. So I will say plantation and horticulture crop is very important topic where you have to focus. Again, after the agronomy, it is one of the most important topic, remember. Then it is the animal husbandry. So we will say it is third most important topic in the NABARD syllabus. With respect to the agriculture, it is third most important topic. So we will just mark it. Agronomy is one of the important, first important, second is the horticulture, and third it is the animal husbandry. Animal husbandry, which will include poultry as well. Now why it is important? So we will see the syllabus first, then I will explain why it is very, very important. Now see, farm animals and their role in Indian economy, not much important from the objective point of view. Animal husbandry methods in India, not much important. But when we see common terms pertaining to different species of livestock, very, very important. Utility classification of breeds of cattle, very, very important. So you will be getting the questions on the breeds, different types of breeds of the cattle. So from which area it belongs, some specific characteristics of that particularly breed, the questions can be asked. So I will say these 2 points are very, very important when it comes with respect to the animal husbandry. So everything with respect to these points we have to focus on. Then introduction to poultry, again it is very important, poultry. So what it says, it is the past, present and the future status. So when we say past, present and the future status, but here I won't say that they will focus on the past or the future statistics or the status. They will be focusing on the present. So for understanding the present status of the poultry, we need to understand or we need to read about certain reports. So government of India reports, it may be the NABARD report, it may be basically we can say Ministry of Agriculture and Farmers Welfare report, Ministry of Animal Husbandry, again Fisheries, Animal Husbandry. So those ministries report we have to focus on, because they will ask you the data with respect to the poultry, they will ask you the data with respect to the livestock, and here the agriculture census as well as the livestock census is very, very important, very important. So I will say it is third most important topic we can say. Going ahead, it is a concept of the mixed farming, not much important, but it is important for the descriptive. They can ask you the question, its relevance to socio-economic conditions of the farmers. Getting? Then it is last, it is complementary and obligatory nature of livestock and poultry production with the agriculture farming. So here we need to understand what is the mixed farming. That is important. So it is only important for the descriptive, but these two things what we have discussed, livestock as well as the poultry, these are very important for the objective part, remember, and most importantly for the phase 1. If you have to clear the phase 1, you have to focus on the livestock as well as the poultry, remember. So the third most important topic, it is the animal husbandry. After that, it is the fishery again. So you can expect at least 2-3 questions from the fishery sector. So what is the syllabus in the fishery sector? It is the fisheries, resources, management and exploitation. So with respect to the fresh water, with respect to the brackish water and with respect to the marine water, remember. So you need to first understand what is fresh water, brackish water and the marine. So when we say the fresh water, we can say whatever the fish you are getting from the rivers, from the lakes mostly or the reservoirs, those comes under the fresh water where the salinity is less than 5 ppt. Less than 5 ppt. But when we say the brackish water, 5 to 35 ppt, especially in the estuaries, the brackish water and the marine in the open oceans we can say. And the types of we can say fish species which are been found in the fresh water, we need to by heart them, brackish water and the marine water. We have to know that which of the following species belongs to which category. The question can be asked on that. Then it is the biotechnology, post-harvest technology, importance of fisheries in India. Now see, importance of fisheries in India, that can be asked with respect to the descriptive, and they can link this topic to certain current issues like the climate change. And last it is the common terms pertaining to the fish production. Again we have to learn the common terms. So you can expect at least 2-3 questions from this topic we can say, but not much vast syllabus. A short syllabus is with respect to the fishery. Then it is a forestry. Again this forestry is important from both descriptive as well as the objective point of view. So they can ask you the basic concepts related to the forestry. What are the basic concepts? So say for example, agroforestry. What is agroforestry and what are its different types? So we can say types. They can ask you the definition. Say for example, what is silvipastoriculture? Silvipastoriculture. They can ask you the definition. They can ask you the question. Or say for example, they can ask you what is the difference between social forestry and the agroforestry. What do you understand by linear forestry, or basically we can say extension forestry or the farm forestry. So these are the various terminologies which are related to the agroforestry. So the systems of agroforestry are important. So we need to see the definitions here. So definitions are important, but when it comes with respect to the descriptive exam, so they can ask you the agroforestry. What is agroforestry? What is its role? So the role is important, remember. So the role of the agroforestry and the role of the social forestry is very, very important. Then it is the concept of the forestry and forest management, the forest economics, forest policies and legislation in India. Then India State of Forest Report. Now it says 2021. In the last year's notification, it was about the 2021. But I guess in this year's notification, it can be changed to 2023. It can be changed. Okay. So we need to focus on the 2023, but we have to wait for the notification, what they are mentioning, that we need to see. And then recent developments under the Ministry of Environment, Forest and the Climate Change. This is important because it is current affairs, remember. It is a current affairs. But these topics are not that important as compared to these topics. Agriculture extension, not a vast topic. In the agriculture extension, we need to focus on the different methods of extension education. Methods. So most important methods are basically we can say result demonstration, then method demonstration. Yes. So most importantly 3 to 4 important methods are there on which the NABARD can ask the question, but basically it will be with respect to the objective type of questions it will be asked. So the extension, its importance and role, the question can be asked, and the role of KVK is important. KVKs, Krishi Vigyan Kendras. What is the role of the KVKs? That can be asked, because see, whatever the technology which has been developed in the laboratory by the scientist, it has to be taken in the field by the extension workers, remember. And the KVK plays a very important role in the dissemination of the technology among the farmers. So while disseminating the different technologies, the KVKs use the different methods like the result demonstration, method demonstration, yes. Then methods of evaluation of extension programs. Again, not much difficult topic. So it is a very easy topic, but you can expect only 1 or 2 questions, not much important topic. Then ecology and climate change. So this topic is very important from the descriptive point of view, not from the objective point of view, but from the descriptive point of view. See, when we discuss about this topic, you need to focus on these topics. So it is the causes of the climate change, major greenhouse gas emitting countries and climate analysis, climate change impact to agriculture and rural livelihood. These topics are very important. So we can say it is very important topic. Getting? So coming to this global level, whatever the measures which are being taken, what is carbon credit, IPCC, UNFCCC, COP meetings, funding mechanism for climate change projects, these are not that much important, not important, okay, because NABARD never focuses on these topics majorly. So they can ask the questions only if it is in the news, if it is in the current. Distinguish between the adaptation and the mitigation, again it is not that much important. National level, yes, of course in the national level they can ask you the question, but with respect to the national level they can ask you the government schemes, majorly it is the schemes, okay. So on the schemes you can expect nearly 4 to 5 questions, and I am not only talking with respect to the climate change, we are talking about all the government schemes. It may be with respect to the soil and water conservation, it may be the organic farming, or it may be any other government measures like the MOUs, say for example MOUs. They can ask you the questions based on that. So government schemes, policies, programs, they can ask you the few questions, remember, which are very important. So you will be getting at least 4 to 5 questions from those programs or the schemes. They can ask sometimes 6 to 7 questions as well. Getting? So that is very important. Now present scenario of Indian agriculture and allied activities. Now this what we are talking about, we have to focus majorly on current affairs part. Current affairs part. Because what the NABARD focuses, what the NABARD actually asks the questions. So NABARD majorly focuses on the production. Production of what? It may be the cereals, it may be the fruits. Getting? It may be with respect to the milk production, it may be with respect to the poultry production, egg production, etc. They can ask you what is the trends which are going on with respect to the production of this different crops we can see. So first is this, then challenges in the agriculture, and what are the different measures. Now what are the challenges with respect to the agriculture? This is not an objective topic, remember, it is a completely descriptive topic. It is a descriptive topic. Then again, factors of production in agriculture, concept and types of farm management. This is again a descriptive question, descriptive topic. See, market and the capital, agriculture, finance and the marketing, that is a very important topic. Because see, NABARD has asked a few years back a question, why the non-institutional source of finance it is reducing among the farmers. So you need to understand a overall understanding of the agriculture finance, what exactly is going on right now in the agriculture finance, or basically we can say the marketing. So this is important from the objective and descriptive point of view. So I will say this is the fourth most important topic what we need to focus on. So for this, what you need to do, you need to read certain government reports, government websites has to be referred, government magazines has to be referred, or say for example you have to focus on the newspaper as well, so that is very important, remember. So this topic we will see, it is the fourth most important topic after agronomy, horticulture, then animal husbandry and poultry, fisheries, and then it is the present scenario, and the last it will be based on soil and water conservation, water conservation. So we will take a list also on which we have to focus on. Now see, and the second part of this topic, it says rural development, demographics and institutional architecture. Now see what exactly is the syllabus. Concept of rural area, causes of backwardness, structure of Indian and rural economy, importance and role of rural sector in Indian economics, social demographic characteristics of Indian rural economy. Now you can hardly expect 3-4 questions from this entire rural development topic, hardly for the objective. So out of 40 in the phase 1, you can hardly expect 3-4 questions only. And NABARD will be focusing on what here? It will be focusing on Panchayat Raj institutions. It will be focusing on the Panchayat Raj institutions. It will be focusing on this, not basically on this. So here you can expect the questions basically related to the definition. Definitions are important. Definitions are important. Then rural population in India, trends of change in rural population, rural workforce. So when we say rural workforce is changing, you have to little bit relate with respect to the agriculture as well. So yesterday we were discussing about the feminization of agriculture. Why? Basically because you need to understand that the male population, it is reducing in the rural areas. Why? Because of the migration, and the women are forced to go to the agriculture activities, isn't it? So you need to understand what are the reasons for the feminization of agriculture, what are the problems associated with the female workers who are working in the agriculture field. That is the change in the rural workforce, remember. And coming to this, again, the most important thing what we need to focus, it is the MG Narega. So it has been changed right now, isn't it? The name has been changed. This MG Narega has been changed. Yes. So the problems associated with the MG Narega, that we need to understand. Then Ajivika scheme, again we need to know what exactly is the Ajivika scheme, what are the different features of the scheme. Then rural drinking water programs, what are the different rural drinking water programs, Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, rural housing and the Pura. These topics or these programs, we need not to only focus on these topics. We can see there are other government schemes or the measures which are completely related to the rural areas. Say for example, Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana. The questions can be asked that. If it is not even mentioned in this syllabus, the questions can be based on that also. Getting? And coming to this, occupational structure, farmers, agriculture laborers, artisans, handicrafts, traders, forest dwellers, tribes and others in rural India. The question, we don't expect much of the questions will be coming from this sections. But what the questions can be asked? The questions for the descriptive, they can ask from this problems and conditions of the rural labor, issues and challenges in the handlooms. Again, this is not that important topic. Just only the problems and conditions of the rural labor force. That can be the question. Getting? So that is all about the syllabus. But coming to now, which are the important topics where we need to focus on? So I will give you the list where we need to focus. If you want, you can just note it down. So see, the first important topic, it is the agronomy. Agronomy. Second, it is the horticulture, and in the horticulture, it is majorly crops. We have to focus on the crops. Third, it is about the animal husbandry. That is livestock, poultry, fishery. Then it is a present scenario. So present scenario. Fifth, we can see it is a soil and water conservation. Sixth, it will be your government schemes, programs, policies, etc. So you have to first focus on these topics, remember. The remaining topics you can keep assigned and you can focus on these topics. So these are very, very important topics, remember, for the phase 1 and the phase 2. Getting? Yes. Any doubts? Any doubts, guys? Please message. Do you have any doubts? So if no doubts, we'll stop here. Just let me do this. Okay? So we'll stop here. Thank you guys.